of reason. Obviously, we're using this English word, but what we mean here is al-aql, and there are different conceptions of al-aql. So, first type of reason is the reason as a characteristic of power, regional power, and that's basically a power of inference, power of organization. So this covers both what we call conceptual power as well as inferential power in a more wider sense. So this basically covers. So this basically cover the first power, the first type of reason. Al-Ghazali's first type of reason basically covers reason as inferential power, power of judgment, and it also covers what we call conceptual power, power of organization, and fourth, also cover power of reason in more limited sense as a faculty of ideas. So, in a nutshell, it covers both the Kantian use of reason as well as understanding in more technical sense, and reason as power of inference as well as faculty of ideas. Okay, so that's the first, and this Imam Ghazali said this whole thing is the foundation of all the faculty of reason. That's the foundation of all the concepts. Without this basic power, there won't be any other power. And Imam Zubaydi says that this first power is foundation also in the sense that it is the light through which all other types, or all other types, in light of which all other types work. And this can be understood on the simile of if we say that the body have eyes, and through those eyes the body is able to see the objects. Similarly, this first eye is the eye of our mind, the eye of our mind through which it all other types work in what is seen through this eye. So in that sense, we can understand this first type of reason as a characteristic or as a power, as the eye of our mind. And through this eye of our mind, all other three types work. So this is reason in the first sense, and all other types are, in a sense, its branches. So that's one way of looking at it. Now the second type is reason as the source of first principles of which sort of provide the basic data for the first type of reason, or reason as a power. The other data obviously come from senses and other sources of knowledge, but this is the basic data, and this basic data could be understood first as some of it as part of the structure of our mind, but that can also be understood as on the model of innate ideas. But we can also understand the first principle as what constitutes the structure of our mind on which this power builds. So if we take it in that sense, that part of the second type of reason is actually constituted of the first part. But then the second type also gives us more detailed basic principles of reason, which are necessary for the functioning of the power of reason. And as we saw in our discussions, they all emerge from the basic conception of consistency. So reason is a power which has a structure, and this power function based on first principles, and those first principles stem from the principle of consistency, without which reason cannot function, this power cannot function. So this is the first part, is the foundation, and this part is sort of its branch, the main branch of this reason. And these first, the foundation plus the first branch, constitute what generally is considered rational power or reason in general. So either you can think of the first type of reason as the foundation and the second type of reason as the first branch, or you can think of these two in combination forming the rational power, or the power of reason, or the capacity of reason, or the rational capacity, the natural rational capacity. And as we saw, Al-Ghazali says that these two powers are valani bitawet, so these are natural powers, in the sense that humans are endowed with those powers through their body and through their mind. So in that sense, that is their biological, physical, mental, and spiritual inheritance, in a sense. Okay, so you can't invent these powers if you are not endowed with them. But obviously, their natural power doesn't mean that you can't develop them. Obviously, your mind develops, so this power also develops. Your body develops, so this power also develops. And in a sense, your soul develops as well, so that's why this power also develops. And on these two fundamental capacities, reason as a power, and reason as a inferential power, and reason as a basic fundamental power and its structure and its first principle, they form together. However you want to understand their mutual relationship, they provide the foundation or the basis of what reason is and how reason works. And on the basis of those two, then the third type of reason comes. And that third type of reason